Hello, my name is Ilona. First of all, I'd like to take a look at Austria. Apparently now the mandate has become official in the way that it's been signed by the president, and it will be enforced about halfway March, if I'm not mistaken. And it's interesting because that is quite like a month away, more than a month away. And I'm kind of wondering what's going on there. I have noticed that especially in countries with like a military background, or at least they've had military governments or like imperials where they belong to, that the restrictions are stricter, so to speak. It's almost like the people there have to wake up even more, especially when you've been in like a military government or like a very imperial, which of course is also a military government, so to speak, that people are more complying, which is very strange, especially in France, because you can see them demonstrating and protesting. You're kind of wondering why it hasn't changed yet. I do believe that it has to do with the change of perspective from the people. If you're only fighting against something and not maintaining your energy and manifesting what you truly want, really you're just feeding the other side. So I'm just going to take a look at Austria and the energy there right now. What's going on? Okay, let's just take a look if I haven't turned the deck upside down. Let's see, we have the King of Pentacles, that's the card above. We have the Five of Swords. Well, that doesn't surprise me as the central card. We have the King of Wands in the past. We have the Two of Wands underneath the Five of Swords. And we have the Three of Wands. This is interesting. This is a very grim atmosphere. Well, of course, now the mandate is through. People are starting to get scared. Do I have to get it anyway? I truly believe you'll just wait, because that's also the future. Wait and see. So if you do live in Austria, wait and see what is really going to happen. I have a feeling things will fall apart very soon, but there has to be a change made in the people as well. They are still complying, a lot of them. Not everyone. I do see, there are people protesting in Austria, but it still needs to be in a bigger scale, and people really need to take a stand, and they're not taking a stand yet. At least the majority is kind of just following along. That's the Two of Wands, like, oh, all right, well, we'll just have to do that. There is still some compliance, or a lot of compliance, so it gets really grim. And that may sound very strange, but I do believe there is a white hat influence in there to wake people up. So sometimes things will need to be pushed to the limit to wake people up, to really shook them up, like this is horrible, something needs to be done. A lot of people have a tendency, if I look at my own life, I have a tendency to stay in my comfort zone. We all have a comfort zone, and people don't like to be pushed out of that comfort zone, and they'll just remain in their little comfort zone, and they're like, well, it's fine this way. So it takes a lot to get them out of there. I've noticed that myself in my own life. And I really think that this is done to push people, really like take a stand. Because right now, the majority in Austria are not taking a stand. This is really the not making a decision, kind of moving along, a bit, how do you say that? I'm not sure if that apathetic, like, oh, well, something like that. Like this feeling of, well, it's not going to matter that much. We'll just go along with it. It really needs to be shaken. And I think there is a plan behind it, because this is the King of Pentacles, and King of Pentacles are very realistic planners moving along. So I do believe that this is part of the plan, so to speak. May sound very strange, but it is to wake up people, to make it so unbearable. People will have to do something, to have to get them in how to say, wake them up. And there is a wait and see. So to me, for people in Austria, it is about just wait what's going to happen. Wait till half of March. Maybe a lot of things has already changed, but the most important thing is not to wait and see in complying with things. It is now very important to take a stand. Just say no, do not support the system, do not take the wasp sting, do not go testing. That's very important. And then wait and see what's going to happen. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if things will change very rapidly before it will be enforced. But that is up to the people of Austria. They have to wake up, they have to stop complying, and they have to make a decision. So that's what I'm sensing with Austria. I also like to take a look at Canada. Of course, in Ottawa right now there is the mayor pronounced the under siege, if I'm not mistaken, that the emergency situation. So who they're going to call? Well, most likely the army, because the police will not be able to handle them. At least that's what they're reporting in the media. If you see the videos, I think it's very, very peaceful, and people are really just standing there for their freedom. It's a beautiful thing to see. This is what it's about. It's about connecting, and of course the media will try to paint this horrible situation, and people are acting very aggressively, and it's not the case. So it's also important that people start seeing what's really going on. But I'm just going to take a look at what's going on there. So in Ottawa, with the mayor declaring that they're under siege. Let's see. The devil, that's the card above. We have the Chariot, that's the central card. Card in the past is the Queen of Cups. We have the World underneath the Chariot, and the future is the Two of Swords. That's interesting. I'm just going to pick another card. We have the Hierophant, or the High Priest. And let's see. And that's fine now. The Knight of Wands. So it's very interesting, because this is really showing the elite, the dark. This is really showing what's going on, what's been going on for a long, long time, how corrupt the system is. It's also showing the media and the corruption of the media. People who are obviously there see now for their own eyes, nothing's going on, and they'll see the media like, well, this is just BS, plain and simple. So I think a lot more people are seeing that side, that everything is corrupt. Of course, their leader, the leader of Canada, just hiding. I'm not sure where he is right now, but who cares anyway? This is really about showing this dark system, these influences, and how corrupt it is. And it's beautiful to see that Canadians are taking back their power. This is the Chariot. This is taking back control again. Like, well, this is our country. You work for us, not the different way around. And that's beautiful. And I think they are moving ahead towards something completely different. So I think this is a strength card, and especially with the world, because this is really about connecting. This is about freedom. This is about standing your ground. And I think, like I've said before, this is so inspirational. Yesterday in the Netherlands, we had truckers driving around. So many initiatives are being started. This is really a movement now. I think it's moving the entire world. It's inspiring everyone around the world. So this is very important. So this is a clash. This is showing that dark, corrupt system. For the near future, there is still like some kind of stalemate. So I think this could go on for a little while. Like, we don't know where it's going to go. But that's beautiful to see. This will be a sort of battle between the High Priest, which also has like the dark influences for me, and the Whiteheads. But I truly believe that this really is about looking, what are our values? Where do we stand for? What is important to us? And freedom is. That's what this is about. This is about freedom. This is about our own authority and standing in our strength. So I think that's really what this coming out, and of course the Whitehead influence. So to me, this will turn out in the end good. So it can still look like well, what's going on? Which side is going to start? What's going on? What are they going to do? But ultimately, the Whiteheads are, to me, in control, and I do believe that all the truckers and the influences are like this Whitehead influence. It's about creating this beautiful new world, freedom, standing up for ourselves, standing up for our rights. So that's what this is about. So I do think that ultimately this will be just for the good. Just like I've said, I have a very good feeling about this. But what they're going to do is still unsure. So I think this could last a few days, maybe a while, like that really going to be like this stalemate. But ultimately, this is about values. Where do we stand for, and really defeating them with those values, with our strength, with our energy. So I truly see that this is just part of this beautiful liberation of our world, of our energies, of this horrific system that's been in place for way too long. So that's how I view things. I'd also like to take a look at the global energy of what is going on in the world right now. Just a global energy. Let's see. This is the Eight of Pentacles. That's the card above. We have the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the Five of Swords in the past. And we have the King of Wands underneath the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the Nine of Cups. Beautiful card. So there is a lot of things going on, work in progress, so to speak. And the Wheel of Fortune, which is an interesting card. It showed up quite often lately, and this is about changing things and movement in the right direction, especially with the King of Wands, which is of course Whiteheads underneath. So the Whiteheads are working probably their beep off to get everything cleaned, to get everything in order and just work through it. There's been, of course, this grim energy taking over our world, and it's time to take it back. So I truly believe this is the end of this dark system, which is similar, of course, to the reading I just did on Canada. It's moving in a beautiful direction. And look at this. This is the wish card. So this is the future, the global future. This is the wish card. In everything that we really truly want will come true. So I truly believe that we're moving ahead. A lot of things are still going on. Like I said, working hard on a lot of levels. People are working hard for the liberation of Earth. I do believe a lot of people just in their energies, we are working along. We are helping moving this along. So that's why it's so important to take a look at your own energy. What are you manifesting? What are you spreading? What energy are you giving to the world, or just putting into action, or just manifesting? It's so important to work on ourselves as well. So globally, so much is going on, and it's moving into the right direction. This is a very beautiful card. So we are moving in the right direction. Of course, the Whiteheads are moving along. They really are taking the steps now to ensure true liberations and this beautiful new energy. This wish card is really the future that lies ahead for us, and it's just beautiful. It makes me so happy. That's what this card is about as well, is being happy and joyful. And it's so important that we step away from this grim energy that kept us in the dark in the past, and that we are now starting to enjoy life. We've suffered so much globally. There's been so much suffering by about everyone. This system wasn't made for us. This system was to control us. I'm not even going to talk about what happens to the children, the horrible things that have been happening all around the world. It's stopping, things are changing, and we're moving into a very beautiful energy. So I'd like to leave it at that, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!